Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Can you all hear me and see me okay? Just let me know in chat. There's a lot of people coming on, and that's quite often why we have the waiting music, you know, that nice little tune just to perk you up. It's actually also just to give people a chance to log on and get themselves sorted out. And then a few people usually realize that they're a bit late and they're like, oh my God, quick. And then they log in and then we've already started. So I usually just put a little bit of couple of minutes music on at the beginning just to get everybody there and online. So welcome everyone. How are we all? So anybody who's logged in and listening, can you just literally put the word hi in chat? Just so for one thing, I know that you're there and listening, and two, that I can see your name, and also that you know where chat is. That would be brilliant. And a warm welcome to you all. We've got loads to do tonight, loads to talk about. I'm going to try and give you as much value as possible about serviced accommodation tonight. So we are really going to go to town on it. There's nothing you're not really going to know about this business and this model by tonight. You're going to have a very, very clear understanding of it all. That's my goal for tonight. So before we start then, guys, I highly recommend switching off your phone. You know what it's like. It's a constant distraction. It is a distraction machine. It just ping, 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 ping. And we can't help ourselves. We just switch off and we're like, oh, hello, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And then you don't focus. Now you're here. You may as well, you know, listen and absorb everything. And let's try and make the most of this session together. Hi, John, Phil, Jane, Asfar, Tox, how you doing? Savani, Matt, Darren. Brilliant. So we've got a good crowd on tonight. That's great. Also, if you can log out and log back in if you need to, but try and use a laptop, computer, or a tablet. It just works better on those devices to watch this webinar. Grab a pen and paper because we are going to be going over a lot, and I am going to steam through it as fast as I can to give you as much content as I can within the time we have together. And also close other browser windows and tabs and things. It just helps this software work better, and the webinar should be nice and smooth for you. Hi, David, Louis, and Kitan. So think of questions as you go along. By all means, you can put them straight in if you're scared that you're going to forget the question, because I do that. I have to ask things when I remember, otherwise 10 minutes later and it's gone. So just put it straight in, and I might not be able to answer it as we go, but I'll happily do it at the end. Because we are going to do a Q&A. And then also, like many of you have already done, and thank you for those who've done this, is you've just joined in with the webinar chat. So you want to say something, you can say it. It comes straight through to me. I'll try and keep an eye on it as we go. So the bottom line is what I'm trying to say here, guys, is concentrate and focus. All right. So who is this webinar for then? So this webinar is for you if you want to increase your current income, which of course we all do. So if that's you as well, brilliant. You don't own any property at the moment, that's fine as well. Or you could already be a landlord with some buy-to-lets, HMOs, maybe just one, maybe you're an accidental landlord. It doesn't really matter. You can be, you know, doing this business of serviced accommodation, whether you've got property or you haven't. And also, if you want to replace your job, you're definitely in the right place, because this is a great strategy for doing it very quickly. And then also, if you're looking for a clear step-by-step guide as to what on earth serviced accommodation is and how you do it to make up to £1,000, sometimes more, per property per month. So before we get started, I want to try and gauge a little bit more about our webinar attendees like you guys tonight. And I'm going to just do a quick poll, if you wouldn't mind joining in. The question is tonight, do you own any investment property at the moment? So I'll publish it, and you can all see the results at the end as well and see what sort of people that we have on tonight. So there's the poll then, guys. If you could just all chip in and vote there and just let me know, do you own any investment property at the moment? Yes or no? So if you're wandering around, listening to this in the background, just quickly nip over to the computer and then just click on the yes or no just to put your vote in. So looking like mainly we've got landlords. So yes is 71%, no 29. Anybody else want to vote just before I press the stop button? If you could just jump on the computer and press the button for yes or no if you own any investment property at all at the moment. Brilliant. Thank you, guys. Getting involved, that's what it's all about. This isn't just me talking and you just chilling. You got to get involved with this. Okay, so we've got yes 71% and no 29%. Brilliant. Okay, well, as I said, you're all in the right place, so it doesn't matter anyway. So I've got a little gift for you at the end. For those of you that read my emails, I did say I was going to give you a little gift, and it is going to be a downloadable PDF that teaches you what I'm going to show you in this webinar, how to set up an apartment, how to get bookings to the apartment, and then how to manage the business going forward. I'm going to make that appear in the webinar software for you at the very end, and you can just download that. If you're on a phone, if you have to watch us on a phone, as I say, I recommend using a laptop, but if you have to, don't worry. If you can't download it, what we'll do is we'll just send it via email. So no problem at all. Right then, guys, let's switch my camera off so we can all focus on the slides. Here we go. So you haven't lost me if you've just wondered where I am. I'm still here. Okay, so a little bit about me, just so you know who on earth the hell is giving this webinar. I'm a former Royal Engineer back in the day. And I've been investing in property since 2007, a terrible time to get involved, as you probably remember. But I wasn't really into property then, and I was just kind of buying things as my friends offered them to me, some of which were property developers, and they would be like, well, we've just got this one house left, Jace. Do you want it? Okay, then, yeah, great. And my friend's just building some flats. He's got a couple on the ground floor. Do you want those? Yeah, all right then. And that's the way I invested to begin with, which is possibly the same as some of you guys. And then it kind of built up a little bit. And then I built it up to over $1 million. But I have to say, not deliberately and with skill and everything else. I did it, in a very casual way. But what I did learn is that when I got all the figures from my properties and put them into a spreadsheet, it actually worked out that it was well over sort of £20,000 a year, even as buy-to-lets. So I thought, God, I'm not even doing anything for this money. This is like free money. And so then I looked into property more and more, and I looked at other different things that you can do in property. And I'm going to talk to you about my favorite one tonight. So I've done residential and commercial properties. I've got property held in a SIP. I recommend you guys look into that, a SIP, SIPP. It's a great vehicle to buy property and put them in. Has to be commercial, mind. And then also I've got 17, 18 years now experience in e-commerce and online marketing. I'm the owner of online property courses as well, guys. And also Home Apartments is my service accommodation brand. Property Web Services is exactly that. It's for people in property who need websites and things. And then the other two websites, Corporate Short Stay and Guaranteed Rent, are websites designed for different people. Really, Corporate Short Stay is exactly that. It's designed to show corporate companies our apartments, and then Guaranteed Rent is to speak to landlords and agents and show them that we can rent their property. So a little bit about Justin. Justin is also our serviced accommodation trainer at Online Property Courses. Justin, you may know, he's been in property for a long time now, 10 years, very busy, always on the circuit, speaking to people and teaching people serviced accommodation and rent to rent. And he's got 42 serviced apartments and over 300 rent-to-rent units. So Justin's brand is Horizon Serviced Apartments. So this is where the knowledge is coming from, guys. And now let's just talk about what it feels like to actually have some serviced apartments making you some money. 24/7 bookings coming in. That's pretty much what it feels like this cool dude here. It feels really good. And it's what all of you can have. You just need to know how it's done. So things you can do when you're doing that, when you've got those apartments working. I like to get out and about, to be honest. I don't work for the love of money. I don't want billions of pounds. I work so that I can actually get out and about and do what I call real life, which in my case is on the left-hand side here. You can see I'm at a car show there. I love going to car shows. That's good old JK from Jamiroquai. And he's always at the same car shows. He's got like 92 cars in his collection. He is like he should have done Top Gear, to be honest with you. He really does know his cars. And then skiing is one of my other passions. So you have to have your apartments running pretty well to be halfway up the Alps. where you've got, sometimes little service and for everything to run smoothly. And then down the bottom there, that was just me in Florida a couple of months ago when I was upping my skills at a big kind of computer techie marketing event in Florida. And then that was me and my wife in Greece, and that is the Temple of Poseidon. Again, a lovely little trip. But this to me is life. This is why we earn money. I don't really care about money for money's sake. I care about having the choices. I don't know if this is you guys. You might be different. You might want to build an empire. But for me, it's about having the money coming in as automatically as possible so that you can get on with your life and do what the hell you actually really want to do. Because I'm sure most of us don't really want to sit in an office or do a boring job or an outdoor job even that's horrible, whatever it is. This gives you the opportunity to get out and do the things you actually do want to do. So what is serviced accommodation? I'm going to run this through fairly quickly. I'm guessing that most of you realize what it is, but let's really spell it out so there's no confusion tonight. So it is an apartment or a house, and that could include a bungalow, a semi-detached place, a terraced house, doesn't matter really. Could even be a log cabin, okay? But it is a property. It is a property that people can rent by the night. And usually it has 1 to 3 bedrooms. We don't tend to have serviced apartments with a lot more than that. Occasionally you'll see 4 or 5 bedders, but you've got to be pretty confident in your market to fill that kind of a property. And we'll go into that more as we move through the presentation. And the whole idea is that you're creating a home from home. And this is what separates you from the likes of a hotel or a travel inn or a Premier Inn or whatever you want. This is what separates you. People are going to come into that property and it's going to be like home. They're going to be able to stick their favorite soap on, sit down on the sofa, maybe do a bit of cooking if they want to, cook themselves a meal and chill out and have that more space than they'd ever get in a hotel room. And, park their car downstairs in the car park or wherever outside the property. It's just like a house. It's just a home. And as I say, stays are usually from 1 night. So around 1 night minimum. Some people do 2 or 3 night minimums, but it's up to you and it depends on the time of year and things like that. We adjust it. We can adjust it. And it's also inclusive of all bills. So obviously no one's going to come there for 2 nights and then sign up for council tax. You're going to take care of all the bills. And the person staying in your property is going to be paying you per night. And you're going to provide hotel-like amenities. So, your towels, your bedding, your shampoo and conditioner, maybe even a bit of body lotion if you're feeling generous. So that's what you're going to provide to them. People are going to be able to walk in, maybe even straight from work or whatever, be able to have a nice shower, jump into a cozy bed, watch some TV. That is what you are selling. So here's why I chose serviced accommodation. So I had already bought a few properties, buy-to-lets and everything. So I'd kind of run out of deposit money. And in my area, 50K minimum really is what you're going to need even to buy a 2-bedroom flat. So, and I'm sure there's other parts of the country that are even worse than that, where you've got to have even more. So I had no deposit, but I had heard that, I had discovered really, that you could actually rent properties and then turn them into an Airbnb and basically keep the change. And I was like, whoa, this sounds really good. So I investigated it more and found that obviously it's a rapidly growing market in the hospitality sector. So there is, a real growth going on there. There's a demand for this type of property. We've all seen the likes of Airbnb starting to shoot up. People starting to know about it. That usually everybody's stayed in one now at this point, and it's starting to really go. And also, if you can rent a property, then obviously you do have the ability to scale pretty quickly and easily if you want to do that. And it's a relatively low startup cost, especially if you're going to rent the property. And I'm going to talk more about that anyway. But for those of you that are landlords, there will be, in many cases, the opportunity to just change over one of your buy-to-lets. Say it becomes empty, maybe the tenant moves out. You can have a look at the situation and see if you want to turn it into a more profitable unit and make it into a serviced accommodation unit. And you get a nice consistent monthly cash flow, which is also very important. And perhaps the biggest one for me is that it can be run remotely. The business has to be run remotely. And, if I'm traveling or I'm in America or whatever, I don't want to be getting a phone call or something from a guest saying, that they've lost their keys or whatever, and there's not systems and everything in place to be able to deal with everything. So that's all well and good. And it can be organized to be 100% able to run remotely and with minimal time too. So service department as a industry as a whole, here's some interesting figures here from May 2017. So things have got a bit better even again, I would imagine, from another year on from then. But as you can see down the bottom, you've got Australia, Germany, United Arab Emirates, China, US, and UK. And, look who's getting the most money per night. Average daily rate, ADR. We are nearly $180 per night. That is our average. Who's getting the most occupancy rate? Well, we've got United Arab Emirates right out there in front, but it looks to be a very good third place. And I hear this has now risen above this line and gone over 80% to 82%, the UK. And then the RevPAR, that's revenue per available room, who's getting the most again? The UK. So the market of serviced accommodation is in a very healthy state. It's not saturated, and it's in a great period of growth. And now is the time to get on with it and be a part of it and make the most of it. So why renting beats buying? This is for those of you that don't have any property, or even for people who've got property, but they're tenanted out. You don't think the tenant's moving out for ages. You don't fancy kicking a tenant out to do serviced accommodation, but you want to expand and you want to get involved with this. So no problem. You don't need to go and buy more property. So no need to invest £30,000. You can go and rent some property. No lengthy buying process. Yeah, that's really cool too, because we all know how lengthy buying processes can be. God, I'm actually selling one of my properties at the moment, and we're talking like 3-4 months in already, and it's still going on and on and on. I feel sorry for the buyer. I'm okay, but God, the buyer must be getting bored out of his head. So, buying is not a fun process. No stamp duty, no solicitors fees, all of which is money down the drain, which, when you buy a place, that's gone. You're not getting that back. And then easy to scale, as we determined. If you want more properties, just get more properties. So is everybody still with me? Is everybody able to hear me okay? Everyone listening and everyone getting all this stuff? Just let me know in chat, and we'll move on to secret number 1 about finding the ideal property in the right area. And we're going to do a little exercise together tonight, actually, just to do things a little differently. We're going to jump onto Rightmove and we're going to have a look for some properties together. How's that? All right, brilliant. So everyone can still hear, and we will move on. So ideal areas for apartments. Let's talk about this. So what you can see there on the right-hand side is a map of Bath in Somerset. And you can see the prices there. They range from sort of 250, round about the sort of mid 150s, and all the way down to kind of 140-ish is about the cheapest, I think. So yeah, basically you're looking for city centers. They're always very, very good because there's so many people coming and going all the time. And also hospitals. Hospitals are really good. If you're fairly near a hospital, you get, if it's a big one, you get so many people coming there. And also you get contractors. So you're going to get people, who are working at the hospital for a short period of time. They don't want to stay in a hotel room for 2-3 months. That is not fun at all. They want an apartment that they can just leave all their bags in and everything as well if they want to just go home for the weekend. So it's a really good idea to be fairly near hospitals. And actually, I've also had families stay in my apartments who are visiting ill relatives in hospital, really terminally ill relatives. And so they just want to be able to be fairly near the hospital and to go and visit their poor sick mum or dad and, be as comfortable as they can while they're at home, because you are creating them a home effectively. Airports are great as well. If you're near an airport, there's a lot of traffic coming and going there. You often get people, and I'm sure many of you have done this yourself, where you will go and stay in a hotel or a bed and breakfast or whatever near an airport the day before your flight, especially if your flight's at 6 a.m. or something and you don't want to get up at the crack of dawn and drive miles and miles to the airport and then get straight on the plane. It's nice to be able to stay pretty nearby and then just get up 2 or 3 hours less than if you'd have had to drive there. So that's really good. Ports are fantastic, like Southampton, my place in Southampton, always having people who are, getting on that cruise ship, but they're early or they've flown over from America or something and they just need somewhere to, actually stay. And they've usually got tons of bags, because for those of you that have been on a cruise, you know that you can take as many bags as you want. And so they tend to do that. You try fitting a family of 5 or 6 with all of their suitcases into a hotel room. It's not much fun. So this is perfect for service department owners to capitalize on that market. Coastal towns are great, like mine, Bournemouth. We get 8 or 9 million visitors now coming in the summer, and it just sort of keeps going up. And so coastal towns are great. You've got other coastal towns all around. Obviously, we're a coastal nation. We've got loads and loads of towns all around the coast. Places of natural beauty, like the Lake District, where you get people all year round coming. In the summer, it's for the summer, weather and the beautiful surroundings and going on the lake and all the rest of it. And then in the winter, you still get people coming for walks. There's people walk all year round in places of natural beauty, a lot of keen walkers. And places of historical interest. Obviously, there's hundreds and hundreds of those in London alone, but they're all over the country. Warwick Castle, Stonehenge, Portsmouth Historical Dockyard, the list goes on. If you're near those kind of places, you can actually find out, guys, online. You can find out how many visitors per year those places get. And obviously, if you've got one that's getting thousands all year round, then you are definitely near a great place. And also transport links as well. You want to have good transport links. Don't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere. It's a good idea to be not too far away from main roads or from train stations and so on, in case the guest is not driving. And then also industrial areas. If you've got an industrial area near you, that could only mean one thing: lots of workers and lots of contractors too. So coming to work in the area, coming to work for specific companies for a little while. And then large employers and the MOD, really, really good. The MOD does actually hire thousands and thousands of civilian staff too. And they have a lot of contractors. And then the last one here, near hotels. Now, why on earth would you want to be near hotel? Well, I'll tell you why, because let's just take someone like a travel lodge, for example. A travel lodge will do massive and expensive research on an area before it dares to go and spend £1 million plus or multi-millions of pounds building a hotel in that area. So if they've done it, then you can bet your bottom dollar there is a demand for accommodation in that area. So don't be afraid of hotels. You're offering a different type of accommodation. Does that all make sense to you guys? So let's now talk about, why would a landlord or an estate agent let the property to you? Because this is a big fear, and I want to break this one up now. I don't know whether any of you have tried to get a property already for serviced accommodation, but a lot of people think, they're going to get stonewalled, and people are just, landlord's going to go, oh, no, I'm not letting my property out for that. And so people think, well, I know, maybe I just won't tell them. And that's not the right way to go about it either, guys. So you basically have got to come up with the right things to say to them to get them to understand exactly what you're offering here, because you are going to be the best tenant they've ever had. For one thing, you're going to be renting long term. So, who wants a tenant that's going to be there for 6 months and disappear? Most landlords are looking for a fairly passive income. They want a long-term tenant, and they want to have that property rented out with stress-free as possible for as long as possible. And then also, you will have it professionally cleaned. You're going to have cleaners go around every few days or after every booking. So why would they not want their place, vacuumed and cleaned to an immaculate standard every few days? Obviously you would. Some tenants, and I'm sure, let me know in chat, guys, who's had a nightmare tenant, landlords amongst you, who's had a nightmare tenant who is, ruined the property or not paid or whatever. Let me know in chat while I take a quick slurp of my water. Okay, yeah, lots of people saying, yep, I've had one, me too, yep. Okay, so there is a lot of that going on, and you can take care of all of the bills. So you are the guy who pays all of the bills, therefore you do not need to worry. A landlord doesn't need to worry about bills. You're not going to be passing that responsibility to somebody else. You are the bill payer. You will be the one who does all of that. And also, hey, David's just said he's got a nightmare tenant now. Yeah, David, you know what? I would get him out. Get him out. Give the place a nice lick of paint and do serviced accommodation with it. And also, you're going to keep the whole place immaculate at all times. When that place is empty, it's going to be like a showroom. So why wouldn't they rent it to you? Here's one of mine. Look at this place. Beautiful. Now, this place was empty, obviously, when I took it on. There had been tenants in there. The place needed repainting, which they did. And so when I put all the furniture in that you can see there and I made it look like that, the first thing I did was actually email these pictures straight over to the estate agent, who was like, wow, that looks amazing. Now you've done it. And then, of course, they emailed the landlord, who was then utterly delighted. He was really, really pleased. That is how he wants to see his property. And it was his pride and joy. So he's, this is his baby at the end of the day. This is his retirement fund. He wants it rented out by somebody good. So it was a win-win-win. The landlord's happy. The estate agent's happy because the landlord's happy. And I'm happy because I've got myself a property that's making a lot of money per month. So that is why people will rent you properties. Do not be scared of renting properties. But can you really get an apartment? So look at this. Left-hand side here. Anyone interested in a luxury block of flats in King George, E16? 1 4-bedroom penthouse, couple of 3-bedroom flats, 2 2-bedroom flats, available now, serviced accommodation or rent-to-rent approved. So yes, you can get apartments, guys, even brand new ones. And then look at this gentleman here. He's done a whole block that he's developed himself and actually made his own serviced apartments in a block. And it looks fantastic. Beautiful. What a lovely way to have your property. And now this gives you an idea of what's possible here. Alan, just met my 9 guests from Latvia staying in a house I've got for 1 week. The net income is just under £2,000 in a month. It says here, I think I need to take on more properties now. And that was like the first place that he's done serviced accommodation with. And you can see why he wants to take on more properties now. Is there anyone here who wouldn't like £2,000 net a month from one property? So secret number 2 is setting up your apartment the right way. But just before we move on to that, guys, would you like me to just quickly jump onto Rightmove and show you how I actually go and find apartments and how I teach people how to go and find apartments? Just let me know in chat. There's a couple of seconds delay between me and you, so I'll wait just a second. And if anybody wants to actually see me do that, then I'll just go ahead and jump on and we'll do it. And if you do want me to go and look for apartments, then just name me a town. Just give me a town, any town you like. I don't mind at all which town it is. Just the first person to throw a town at me, I am going to do that town. Okay, so lots of people saying that they want me to do it. That's great. First person to throw a town at me, I'm doing it. Bang, Newbury, Dave. Okay, right, I'm on it. So let's just switch over now and share my screen, which will be Rightmove. There we go. Okay, so can you now all see Rightmove? Okay, yes, brilliant. Right, so I am now going to Newbury in Berkshire, and I'm going to do a search for to rent, as you can see. And let's have a little look what's going on here then. This area only. Right, okay, so we've got the properties coming up now. It should just be loading up. Now, what I would do, first of all, guys, is I would be thinking about possibly trying to get a furnished or part furnished property, because why? That is going to save you money. And it will give you a great way. Maybe you've got your own style. Maybe you're doing this long term. I mean, if you're doing this for yourself and your own property, obviously you get your own furniture. But if you're going to rent, why not just use somebody else's furniture that's already there and save yourself kitting it out? And what you want to do now is you can select any one of these. It can be detached, semi-detached, terraced, flat bungalow. So we don't want land park home. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we can do bungalow as well. That's no problem. And then we're going to adjust the minimum beds to 1, and then the maximum beds to 2. And then we are going to get rid of house shares and retirement homes. Sometimes it doesn't, guys. Sometimes you do not get rid of them. It's just the way that Rightmove works. And we want some parking. Why not? Let's have some parking. And you don't necessarily need a garden, because that will mean that you then have to kind of maintain that usually. But let's just do that. So we're just going to select parking. We don't want any of these. And then that's it. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to filter by price. And let's just say that we don't want to be spending any more. And I'm going to put $1,200 a month here. Now, I don't know this area very well. So we're going to gauge what can you actually get for that money. And let's just have a little look. So here is a 1-bedroomed annex there. Let's have a little look at it. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to go straight to the description. I want to know what the deal is here. Fully furnished, as viewed, with 1 double bedroom, 1 double bed, side drawers, wardrobe, galley kitchen, ample storage space, ideally equipped for single occupancy, garage storage space available, tumble dryer. Interesting. The annex has a small patio area for use of tenants. And we've got a floor plan here as well, so we can work out that this is a 1-bedder. And now this is very, very small by the looks of it, although that does say it's 15 foot by 6.4. What I would want to do with a property like this is I would definitely want to be able to have a sofa bed, so that I could have 2 people in this room, in a double room, and 2 people in the lounge on a sofa bed. Now, I've got a little cottage property with a lounge, probably no bigger than that, but maybe even smaller. And I've managed to do it in there. So that could be a possibility. It's very, very small, and you wouldn't be able to command that much money per night for this. But it could be worth a look. It could be worth a look. And if we just have a quick look at the photos, of course, we can probably gauge even more. So yeah, that lounge to me is probably too small. That is definitely too small for a sofa bed. So I would leave this property. I would leave it. Now, this one is in a block. Some blocks are funny about you doing service accommodation. Some are not at all. But I would want to go there, and I would actually make an appointment to go and view this property and go and speak with chancellors, build a relationship up with them, tell them what I want to do, and make sure that that block was going to be okay with it. It's as simple as that, guys. And there, you know, that's got beds in there and everything. And then we've got a 2-bedroomed detached house there. Look, that looks a cracking place. Look at that. Parking. You've got bar stools in there, dining table. You know, by the time you put a bit of art on the wall, you know, some artificial flowers or something in the corner, and a decent photographer, I would consider these photos as poor. You can make this place look amazing. So that's an interesting place. But, you know, you've got to have a little look on the map as well. And look, the landlord is furnished or unfurnished. The landlord is flexible. Words like that I like. And also you want to make sure that you're looking for long-term, guys. So the letting type wants to be long term. Pointless you seeing somewhere that's going to be, 6 months and they want to sell it. But you got parking for 2 cars there. This is an interesting property. Maybe available in November, a detached 2-bedroom. It's a bit strange. It says maybe, but that's definitely worth a phone call, and that's a property that I would look at. I'd also go and have a quick look at whereabouts it is in relation to the town centre. So not too far away. And it's just, in a nice peaceful area by the look of it, in between 2 major roads, the A34 and the A339. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. So I would definitely be making an appointment with that. Now, you might say, well, why don't you just ring up and then tell them everything over the phone? But that is not the way to do it. And I go into a lot more detail than this, of course, in our paid course, because you've got to do it the right way. And when you do, you'll have as many properties as you want, really. So that gives you an idea of how I would be searching through the Rightmove results. And I'd be contacting loads of places. Hey, look at this place, $850 a month. That's a cool looking place. This would lends itself really well to a serviced apartment visually. Doesn't look like it needs a ton of furniture. Look, you've got the bedside tables and the bed. That's an expense. Ground floor, off-road parking. Whoa, look how close that is to the train station. And it's been up for rent by the look of it for 23 days. Brilliant. I would be all over this property. I would definitely be on the phone to Henwick about this property. So I hope that's kind of helped you, and give you an idea of how I would be searching for properties. I've got multiple apartments from, different estate agents. So it's no fluke, and you can get them. So did everybody find that helpful? Just let me know in chat. Cool. Okay, guys, let's move on. I am giving away a lot of stuff here tonight. I've never actually done a Rightmove tour, so hopefully that was good for you. Now then, setting up your apartment the right way. Okay, this is how I do mine. I do them to a high standard, but I don't spend a fortune. But what I'm trying to do is to create a home from home, like we said earlier on. It is all about creating that lovely environment that when someone walks in, hopefully they might even say, wow. That's what you want. They want to see an immaculate home that looks comfy, cozy, clean, and smart. So furniture wise, you're obviously going to need furniture. We've just discussed one way that we can cut down on that burden. And by the way, you can lease furniture for an entire apartment for about 110 to 120 pounds a month that can come out of your bookings. And that way you don't have to put down hardly anything at all. And they'll come and set the whole place up, the company. So really, really good. Bedding and towels, you're going to need that. And we're going to talk a bit more about that in a moment. You're going to need an equipped kitchen. So that means all the cooking utensils in there, plates, glasses, the whole lot. Someone wants to be able to come and cook. And TV, I always recommend doing smart TVs, that you might as well. They're so cheap now. You can have Netflix on there and everything. I get them with built-in DVD players as well. So just in case there was some kind of problem with the telly, signal or Netflix was down or anything like that, they can just put a DVD in as well. And I just put a few of them in the drawer. God, you can go to a boot sale now and get like a handful of DVDs for about £3. So preparing your apartment. Now, you would need to have some cleaners. There are cleaners in every area of this country. You just got to find the right ones. So that is not a problem. We have a great system to train them. We have a PDF, which has a full guide on exactly how we want the apartment. And then we just send that to them. And then there's no arguing. Exactly how you want it is there. We even take photos of the beds, everything. And then also you can hire your linen and towels. So don't worry, you're not going to have to start doing loads of extra washing. That is not the way forward at all. You can hire it and they'll bring you nice, clean, fresh linen and towels and take away your old stuff. And then you need to think about the access method to the apartment. How are people going to get in? Are they going to need you to get in, which is the perhaps least preferable way? Or are they going to be able to just get the key using another method? And there's several different ways of doing that. So don't worry about that. And then what I like to do, as you can see in the picture there, I like to have a guest book. Mine has been thoroughly researched so that I actually went to several hotels, photographed their table of contents and everything for their guest book, so I didn't miss anything, and then put it all together in this one. So it covers, you know, taxis, best place to eat in the evening, coffee, lunch, places of worship, all this stuff, you know, how to use the heating, it's all in there. Wi-Fi, we need good Wi-Fi, of course. Promotional flyers I like to put in too, because people help themselves to this flyer when they're there, because it's got a big fat 10% off in the corner if they go and book direct with you. And we're going to talk more about getting bookings in a minute. And then also a You're Welcome tablet is a nice addition to an apartment. That is basically like the guest book, but on a tablet. And, you know, that then tells them lots more information about the local area. They can even order a late checkout from you and pay, which is wonderful. It means you get more money, £20 an hour for every hour they go over their allotted time. So let's talk about getting the actual bookings. So just to recap, guys, we know now that you can get a property. So whether that be your own, or you can, you know, go ahead and rent a property. You can get the property that's perfectly fine to do serviced accommodation in. We know that. And now we know how to set it up to make it look right. And now we're going to talk about getting bookings to your property really quickly. So these are the two primary methods that you will get bookings to your property quickly: Airbnb and booking.com. Okay, now they're both free to list your property on. They just charge commission. Airbnb is extremely reasonable and they charge mainly the guest commission. So you end up hardly paying anything for using Airbnb. And booking.com is 15%. Now, booking.com is a machine and they will get you a ton of bookings. So literally, you know, once you've got your place ready, in fact, if you can put together a half decent photo of the property before it's even ready, you can get it on Airbnb and block the calendar until the date you're ready to launch. So when you do launch, you've already got bookings. So great way to get bookings fast is that way. I mean, take a look at this Facebook post here from Camilla. Yet another addition to the business. This one was the quickest setup yet. From keys to guest, 3 days. It's been fully booked ever since, and today is the first day I've managed to get a few pictures in between guests. So there is categoric proof that you can get guests and you can get them fast, just like I said. And then when you do get bookings, this is what it's going to look like, guys. This is a 2-bedroom place of mine on the left, and, you know, £636 booking for just 4 nights with 2 guests. That's £159 a night. Now, depending on where you are in a country, you may be charging more than that. That might be your minimum. If you're in centre of Bath or something, or London, wow, you're going to be charging more than that. And then also on the right-hand side, you can see another booking, 7-night booking, £1,225. That covered the entire rent and some of the bills even for that particular property. £175 a night. Why? Because of the time of year, and also because the number of guests is 5. And that being a 2-bedroom property, the way that we were able to deal with that 5th guest is a sofa bed. Now, here's another booking on the left-hand side. This is, I think it's an Airbnb. Yep, there you go. £197 times 5 nights, £985. With Airbnb, it's very simple and easy to add a cleaning fee on top, which people kind of expect to pay on Airbnb, which then negates Airbnb's own fee to you. So you end up with just a free booking of £985. Who wouldn't want one of those? It's very simple. And then on the right-hand side, you can see another booking there. In this case, a 1-night stay. I'm charging £249 for that, because ultimately it's for 5 guests, and I've still got my costs of the cleaner going in and changing the linen. So you need to charge a good bit of money for a 1-night stay, but it's great. Why not? If the place is empty, you'll take a 1-night stay. So this could be you. This gentleman here, Ahmed. This is the latest SA unit we have taken on. We got this last Thursday and had someone check in on Monday. The guest in there is a contractor and should be in there for 6 months. After all costs, with this guest, we'll make around £1,500 net profit per month. That is just another example of many and many. I could bore you to death all night showing you these guys. It's about time that you joined in. Let's get some of the action. So secret number 4 then. I told you that it's very important to me that I am not taking on a new job by having a serviced accommodation business. And that is exactly what I'm going to promise you now. So I'm going to show you the systems that I use to make sure that happens. So you need to automate the business with what's called a channel manager. Now, the channel manager is simply a bit of online software you can log into from anywhere, including your phone. And your calendars are on there. Your guest communications all come in there. But the calendar control is fully automated. So when somebody decides to come and book your apartment via booking.com, guess what? That blocks out the calendar for the days that they booked so that none of these guys around here can, get a double booking. They can no longer book that actual time because this channel manager has just blocked the calendar out. So that takes care of your calendar automatically. No logging in and blocking it out and then stressing out whether another person's booked the same dates. That goes out the window with the channel manager. You also can change your prices in the channel manager and then press a button, then it updates the prices in multiple places. So if you want to adjust your rates, you can do that with one place. It also allows you to communicate with your guests from one place. So no logging in individually to these different websites that you can advertise your place on. Everything will come through to there. And then also the system will notify the cleaners by SMS whenever there's a booking. So perfect, they know. And then they can install an app on their phone that shows them all the bookings for the month so they can work out their rotas and they can deal with it. It's up to them to deal with it. All you're doing is giving them the calendar, saying when you see a booking and you see a checkout date, I want you to be at that property moments after checkout and you clean it. And that's how you work the cleaners. It's really simple, but they get on with it themselves because you empower them to do that. So here is a good overview of the serviced accommodation model and how it works. So first of all then, number 1, new reservation. That could come in from booking.com, Airbnb. It could be a direct booking with you by email over the phone. It could be anything, but it's a new reservation. The person books your property and in many cases they are paying in advance, or if it's Airbnb, they'll pay Airbnb and then Airbnb give you the cash when the guest shows up. And that goes straight into your bank. Very nice, very neat. Now, the person might book for next week or they might book for 2 months' time. But that calendar is then blocked and the person is automatically sent an email thanking them for the booking, telling them exactly the check-in procedure, all about the apartment, how to find it, the whole lot. So you have to do nothing. Then the guest checks in. They know how to check in because they've read their email and they've had another reminder just before they turned up. And they stay in the apartment. They have a wonderful time in your home from home that you've created. They know how to use everything in your apartment because there's a big guest book there right on the desk full of everything. And they have a great time. They know how to check out, where to put the keys, to turn off the heating, close all the windows because it's all there in the instructions automatically emailed to them. They then check out. And then when they've checked out, they go home happy. They get another email saying, we hope you had a great stay. Come back again. Your cleaners, number 4 now, come steaming in some half an hour after the guests have gone and make the place look awesome again. They will report any damages. They'll check for light bulbs that are out or anything like that. And guys, I have to tell you, don't worry about damages because I think in all of the, thousands of guests that I've had stay at my apartments, I've had 3 or 4 times when the place was left in a tip. Very, very little damages. God, once I had somebody who, broke a light bulb on their bedside table and offered to replace it. So, I can't argue with that. We had a tablet, got cracked screen, the You're Welcome tablet. Never mind, they replaced them for free. So don't worry about it. And also Airbnb insure you for $1 million against damage. So there's really no big concern with damages. And then also the last thing will be that your apartment is now ready the same day as it was vacated by the previous guest. So you could literally have one person leave in the morning and another person come in the afternoon. So that apartment is just rammed, back-to-back bookings. That's how you can do it. It becomes a cash point, a money-making machine, but you have to run the machine right. Otherwise, it's just an empty apartment. So managing your cleaners, a great way that I've found is WhatsApp. Who uses WhatsApp, guys? Who's got it on their phone right now? Well, I have another slurp of water. Yeah, okay. So yeah, a lot of you got it. Pretty much everyone now. It's just become so common. I mean, it's actually a bit annoying because, of course, we all communicate via like Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, email, text message. It's like a nightmare now, isn't it? It's almost like you feel like you've got to message them via every method just to make sure they get the message because you don't know which one they're going to pick up. But what I've done is create a WhatsApp group with my team. So my virtual assistant who deals with all of my guest relations for me. So I don't have to do any of that. She's in the WhatsApp group. My stepfather's in there as well, so that he's able to deal with any maintenance issues that come up. And also I have my cleaners in there so they can report anything while they're in the apartment. And it just comes straight in and I can just keep an eye on things. I don't really need to get involved because everyone knows what they're doing. But that is how it works. Brilliant free way to communicate with your team. And so if you're in a full-time job at the moment, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can do this from your mobile phone anyway. And you need to ensure that everybody knows their roles and then, what they've got to do when there's an issue. So, and there isn't many issues, to be honest with you. You can see in that picture there in the screenshot, that is a genuine screenshot of my WhatsApp. My cleaners reported that the curtains are missing. And it's just because after the last guest left, I went in there real quick and took them out because I wanted to shorten them. So, it was great that he reported that, though. It just showed that he was doing his job. And that's how you can have things. So this could be you. Here's another example. Another apartment ready and booked whilst I'm on holiday. Professional pics to follow, loving the work and leisure time balance. So there's another person there who's, showing you that it can be run remotely. They're on holiday and they've got another apartment opening up. So this is how it can be, guys. You can have this as a strategy, make the extra money on top of a normal buy-to-let and just, carry on with life. So what will your apartments look like? I always think it's a great idea to create a vision board of how many apartments you want, what kind of thing they're going to look like. What will yours look like? This is an example here of a pretty standard apartment, a serviced apartment, and what they look like. You can see your bedroom there with the towels laid on it, sofas in the lounge there and dining room table. What are your apartments going to look like? And also think about it. What will you call your brand? What are you going to call your apartment brand? I called mine Home Apartments. Other people here, look, the Spires. That's really cool. Globe Apartments. There was a little globe icon. That's really cool. Stay City. They're one of the big boys. That's really good. Got like a busy bee. Quebec's Luxury Apartments. All these are people just like you who decided to take action and start their own serviced accommodation brand. Why not? Cam Stay, and then Harrogate Lifestyle Apartments. That's a really nice design, nice logo. Compton Court Apartments there with 2 C's backed on. So you can create your brand. Do you know how much it costs to get a logo these days and just to start putting it on everything? I mean, wow, you can get a logo design for like 30 to £50. Really, really inexpensive to have a professional image now. And it's something we teach in all of our paid training on how to do that. But it's great. I mean, it just inspires confidence from people who are booking with you that you've got like a brand. And it's so cheap for you to do it. So let's talk about one of mine here. 2-bedroom apartment with 1 parking space, sleeps 6 people, Juliet balcony and a concierge as well. Now this place was a bit tired when I took it on. So I had it repainted by my painter Dave. Cost me £650, I think, to do the whole place. But it looked brand new once we'd done that. It looked really good. It brought it to life. I did some feature grey walls. Rent £850 a month. And, you know, here's an example of the figures. So what you've got here on the left is the bills, like the rent, the council tax, gas, electric, and so on. These are the people that are booked and how they booked. And then there's the income. So this particular property took £5,000 worth of bookings. And the profit was £2,630 for the month. Occupancy rate, so that's how many, you know, what percentage of the time was the property actually full, which is 96.77. Average price per night, £143. And then the average stay is 2.31 nights. Now, I already had a company and I just put these apartments straight into that, and it was already VAT registered. So when you do this and you start your apartments, you won't need to VAT register until you hit the threshold. And you can have a couple of apartments at least without doing that. But even with normal VAT of 20%, and there's other ways of doing lower VAT as well, by the way, a flat rate scheme, the profit was £1,794. That is for a property that I don't own. I didn't buy it. I just rented it, and it made that in a month. So, you know, look at it. It's that apartment would cost in the region of £200,000 to £250,000 normally. Imagine a stamp duty and all the fees and the deposit required to buy that. Well, you can just rent it and get that. Another property here, 2-bedroom place. This is actually a house, so that's actually wrong. I remember this. I must adjust this slide. And the rent is actually £1,200, so ignore that. Let me just see which way around I've got it. Yeah, so these bits are wrong, and this is right. So it is actually a house with 2 parking spaces, sleeps 6 people, and the rent is £1,200 a month. Now, I went for a house because houses don't cost hardly any more than an apartment, and you get a garden sometimes and more parking. So why not? I like houses. And then here you can see all of the details. Profit, same again, £1,860 a month. And that's just with a 74% occupancy rate. And then the profit there after VAT, in my case, wouldn't be yours. You'd be getting this figure, £1,130.47. So that is what makes this business an attractive model. Really, really good. So let's just recap now, guys. You will be able to get properties from agents or landlords. We've already demonstrated how you do it. We've already proven that that can happen by showing you multiple people who have done it. In most cases, you can also convert your own properties to serviced apartments if you want to do that and start making some more money. And we know that demand is increasing for this type of accommodation. And you can see why. You can see why it's got a lot of benefits over a hotel room. And then we also know that you can get bookings very, very quickly using the methods that we've shown today. And we've seen other people, you know, who've said they've like gotten full after 3 days of opening. So my question then, guys, I hope you've kind of got something from that training. Now, would you like me to talk about how I can help you do the same? Just let me know in chat and I'll talk you through how we basically have put together a full training course on this that goes into detail for everything that I've just gone over. Just let me know in chat and I'll just move on and I'll tell you a bit about our course. All right, lots of people coming through saying, yes, tell me about it. Let's hear it. So no problem. Well, let me let me tell you about this, because this is going to be a real game changer for you. You are about to save a huge amount of time. So this is our serviced accommodation superclass, and this is the success roadmap that we put together, myself and Justin here. So starting down the bottom left in this lane, we just go over the whole property side of serviced accommodation. We're going to help you do location research in more detail. We're going to go into a lot more detail about how you find that right area. Then we're going to talk about how you source the property. And there's actually videos of me live, in my car after having been to estate agents and obtained properties, telling you what worked, what didn't, what went down well, so that you can really be confident when you speak to an estate agent and you want to get yourself one of these properties. The legalities, we talked to you about the insurance and everything that you need. Any planning issues, there really isn't any hardly with serviced accommodation at all. It's only in London. And all of that is covered in the legalities section. We're going to talk about how you can furnish that apartment inexpensively from all of our favorite suppliers, how to take some brilliant photos and get that property looking stunning in the photos. And then the cleaning and laundry aspect of it all. So how to systemize all of that so you don't have to get involved at all. And then bookings, listing on the channels, how to get your properties listed on those channels real quick. And then managing the bookings, how to get all those bookings dealt with. And then how to outsource it and expand if you want to do that. So you can, if you want to get, 5, 10, 15 apartments, you can, because we're going to show you exactly how to do that. So the bottom line is, which would you prefer? Obviously, you can do it yourself. You can just learn it as you go along, and it's going to be a pretty much, like it is for this guy, hard work. It's stop, start, and there's a risk it just might just fall over altogether. Or you can cheat, and you can absolutely fly through the process from two people who have done it and can show you the exact right way and avoid all of our mistakes. So that is the way to go, guys. I think we'd all rather travel like the dude on the right. So course bonuses. Let me talk to you about all the things you're going to get in this course, because it really is a huge time saver. I'm going to give you an apartment inventory list. So when you're going around to a property that you've looked at on Rightmove, you're going for the viewing, you've got that list there. When you get in the car, you can just be ticking off everything that was there, and you can work out what kind of furniture you're going to need for each room in the property. So I've done that all for you. Every room's broken down, really nice and neat, save you a lot of time. And then the serviced accommodation deal analyzer. This is a really good spreadsheet that's going to calculate for you if a property is going to make it a really good profitable apartment. So you just type in the rent, the rough bills, how much you're going to get per night, and then it's going to tell you like green light or red light and how much you're going to make. And you want to be aiming for a minimum $750 a month. But in most cases, you're going to be averaging out about £1,000 net profit a month. A management agreement. So when you find a landlord direct and you want to work with them, you want to have their property from them, we've got an agreement that's been drawn up by solicitors, cost £1,500 to do. And that is going to save you a lot of time and money and enable you to get a property quickly without messing around with solicitors. You're welcome to get it checked out by your own solicitor, but you only need to really adjust the names and everything on it, dates and so on. And then you'll be able to use that to get a property from a landlord, and everybody knows where they stand. The other thing you're going to have is terms and conditions we're going to provide you with. Very important, because people who stay in your apartment don't have a tenancy agreement. Of course, that's you. You've got that. So you need to have terms and conditions to protect yourself. And we're going to give you those terms and conditions that have taken us a long time and a lot of money and effort. There's even details in there about if the guest smokes or loses keys or whatever, that they get charged X amount of money. Everything is in there to cover yourself. And this is going to save you a heck of a lot of time, guys. Also, you're going to get the cleaning manual. Do you remember I told you that when our cleaners clean our property, they know exactly what to do. They never forget, even if they get a new member of staff, because we've given them via email a printed PDF that shows them all of the rooms and how we want everything, how the towels should be folded, how the toilet roll should be, everything. And we're going to give you that too. So when you go and recruit a local cleaner, you just print that out and say, I want my place like that, please. Promotional flyer, that promotional flyer that you saw in the picture earlier, I'm going to give you that in a Photoshop document so that you can just email that to your printer, save on £100 design fee, and just tell them you want the phone number and the website details changing on there. And then that's yours. So you'll be able to get commission-free direct bookings. And then also the occupancy versus nightly rate calculator, another spreadsheet for you. So you can play about with the occupancy and pricing. So say, for example, your property was going to get 70% occupancy rate. That's what you thought it was going to get on average. And you were going to be able to charge, say, £100 a night. How much profit would you make? And then you can adjust them. Brilliant calculator, custom built to help you. And then you remember I said I went round and I created the ultimate guest book. Well, you are going to get that guest book in Word document so that you can just adjust it to have all of your own apartment's details in. How many hours do you think that's going to save you, knowing all the things that you should include in your guide? It's a huge time saver, never mind the monetary value. So there's the recap of everything you get. The apartment inventory list, occupancy rate calculator, management agreement, terms and conditions, cleaning manual, A5 flyer design, deal analyzer, guest book template, Facebook support group. Now that is a £1,200 value. That is lifetime access to support from myself and Justin via the Facebook support group. And we don't hang around, guys. If you've got a problem or a question or an issue, we are in there like a shot to help you as required, unlimited. So that is of a huge value. When you go to many of these courses and things at hotels, they don't give you that. Lose a lot of interest. You know, once you've left that classroom, they're not really bothered about you. But it's quite the opposite with us. We work online, so we're very bothered about you. And then also we're going to give you our full 75 video serviced accommodation superclass, £2,000 value, the whole lot, everything that you need. Total value £7,000 and God knows how many hours. If all this course helped you do was just get one apartment up and running, earning you up to 12k a year net, would it be worth it? Even at 7,000, would it be worth it? Definitely. You'd be making a £5,000 profit in your first year with one apartment. And if it took the pressure off you financially every month, knowing you've got one or two apartments even just running in the background, bringing in that money, would it be worth it? And if it gave you more free time and more money to do what you like to do and not what you have to do, as you see in the photos, things I like to do myself, life, in other words, would it be worth it? So you've got two choices now. Of course, you can do nothing. Just stay in your comfort zone and don't take this leap of faith, basically, and just have a, as they say in inverted commas, think about it and then never actually do anything, because we all know that's what happens. Or you can invest in yourself, because that's what this is. Get started with the course. It's totally risk-free, by the way, and make a fantastic income from apartments. So it's an investment in yourself when you purchase a course like this. Some extra bonuses for the first 5 people who order tonight. There's quite a few of you on, so I don't know whether everyone's going to be able to get this, but hey, you are going to get access to my own fully trained in serviced accommodation and the channel manager virtual assistant on a pay-as-you-go basis for just £3.50 an hour. She's based in the Philippines, speaks perfect English, writes perfect English, and is fantastic. She'll phone guests, she'll do everything. And she's available for just like an hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever you want, to be able to help run your business for you, so you don't even have to speak to guests. But I obviously use her, so I can't be letting everybody have, access to my person. Otherwise, she's not going to have enough hours for me. So I do restrict access to her, and I don't tell anybody who buys the course this. This is just for people who buy on the webinar and one of the first 5. Also, for the first 5 people to order, another extra special bonus tonight, I'm going to give you a free 3-month mentorship with myself. Value is normally $1,997 plus VAT for that. People have paid that. Unlimited private email support with myself, and also a 30-minute one-on-one call every other week to really propel you along with this business and get you going. And this won't start until you're ready to start. So it doesn't start tonight. If you're planning on getting this course deal and offer, and you want to actually launch the mentorship in, say, and start your apartment business in 2 months, then that's absolutely fine. You can just email me and say, right, I'm ready to go. Can we start the 3-month mentorship now, please? So this is a real big bonus tonight, guys. So the normal course price, if you go on our website now, onlinepropertycourses.com, you'll find it's $997 plus VAT, which is already a complete bargain. But you won't get all these bonuses that I've shown you tonight, which is a huge amount of bonuses. But tonight, guys, I am going to give you the opportunity to start your serviced accommodation business for just $797 plus VAT. So a crazy low price that 1 month of your first 70 or 80% occupancy month, which will probably be in month 2 or 3, will cover the entire cost of this course with change. So hopefully that's put it into perspective as to what an incredibly good deal this actually is. In the webinar software now, you can see a button if you want to go ahead and try and be one of the first 5 to get the mentorship and also the details of my virtual assistant for the future. Then you can just go ahead and just click the buy now button, go through the secure checkout. It's totally safe, guys. Don't worry about fraud or anything weird like that. It is bulletproof, military encrypted checkout. Also, we offer a full money back guarantee. I'm not interested in taking the money from people who don't want to do this. I want people who are committed, going to do it, recognize the quality of the training and work through it so that I get great reviews later on when you've got your apartments up and running, making some good hard cash. So if you're not happy, you've got 14 days. I'll give you a full refund. Another person here, this could be you as well. So this gentleman here said, when all accounts got filled in, bills paid, and calculated net income per apartment, it stunned me and I almost fell off my chair. $6.5 grand gross income and £3,500 net in a month. I must admit that is pretty good, and I'm sure he probably won't do that every single month, but that is pretty awesome from Tadas there. Another one, Lloyd, SA is such a wonderful strategy. Now, what he's done here is he's bought a 2-bedroom property in Wales for peanuts, 42 grand, spent 9 on it, and now it's totally unencumbered because it's like, you know, they've only 51 grand. It's got him a lovely house. And as you can see there, £4,499.20. If you're looking to get into property investment and seeking to leave your job, then you need to look at this strategy. You know, that is. So what do people think have done the course? Well, you know, here's Mark doing really well, an action taker. Jason's serviced accommodation training is great. He gives everything you need to know to get started, as well as going in to the more complex sides of the business and how to approach them without having to do all the work yourself. We would recommend the online trainings, as you can go back over things as many times as you want, which is better than doing 1 or 2 live training event days, as I feel you just don't take it all in. And I know what he's talking about. So recap then, guys. Once you've completed the course, you will know how to easily source apartments. You will know how to set them up for success, how to get bookings to them really fast, how to manage them on autopilot, and also how to do joint ventures with other people as well. If you've got literally, you know, very, very little money, then you can do joint ventures with other people. You're going to get the training on how to do the joint ventures, and you're going to get the training on how to do the apartment. So someone else can provide the money and you're going to have everything you need. Someone else who's done the course, Alison, absolutely fantastic course, really, really different to the traditional training classes that you attend. Closes the gap between a training course and action, and the site itself is clear, concise, and easy to use. Well done, Jason and Justin, pure genius. And this is going to help myself and others in the property journeys for years to come. And then lastly, David, the course has taken me from no properties at all to 3 serviced apartments in 6 months. The fact that I can keep referring back to it online when I hit a problem is ideal for me. I would definitely recommend this course to anyone with an interest in doing serviced accommodation. This course is awesome. Now, all these guys are in my Facebook group, so you'll be able to meet them after you purchase the course. You'll get put straight into the Facebook group. And then here's Dave. I have to say, if anyone's thinking of taking one of these courses, I highly recommend them. I've been on a few courses costing 3 times as much with less value from some of the larger training companies. The content in Jason's courses are excellent, well strung together, and you can go back and listen to any lesson as many times as you like. I had 1 serviced accommodation unit at the start of the year and now have 5 with 2 more in the pipeline. And this course helped me get there. Really great review. Very proud of that one. So there you go then, guys. That's everything. Now let's have a little look at the Q&A. I'm very happy to go through as many questions as you need for the next 10 minutes or so. We've got 14 minutes left on the clock, so let's just have a chat. And thanks ever so much for staying with me to this point, by the way, guys. I'm going to also put in the download that I promised you. That will now magically appear in your webinar software. If you can't download it for any reason, just drop me an email, info@onlinepropertycourses.com. You can see actually on the screen there the email address as well. So you can just drop me an email and I'll just email it over to you. So that's fine. So question here from Maria. How do we get support as we go through the course? Okay. So Maria, basically you get support in 2 ways. One, you can simply comment under any video lesson. So that comment then gets, straight through to us, and then we'll reply directly under the lesson if you've got a question about a particular lesson. And then you've got the Facebook support group if you have a sort of general question or, hey guys, what do you think about this particular property that I'm thinking of taking on and turning to serviced accommodation? We're there to, help you validate your ideas. So that's how you get support, those 2 methods. And also if you want to, you can, by all means, just drop me an email, info online property courses. Darren, yeah, there'll be a replay sent to you automatically in the morning. So no problem if you've missed some of this training, that's fine. You'll get that in the morning. Craig said, what happens if we don't get any bookings? Fair enough. That's a good question. Hasn't happened to me, hasn't happened to anybody I know, because the thing is if you get it all right, if you follow the training, you do the right pricing, you get lovely photos of the property, then there is no reason, and you get yourself onto the right websites and everything, you will get bookings and you can get them really quick. Diane, when doing serviced accommodations, do you pay council tax or business rates? Great question, Diane. And here's how we play it, and everybody I know plays it. We find out which is the cheapest and we stick with it. That is the short answer to that question. Now, let's have a look at this one here. Karen said, do we get updates of the course for free or do we have to pay extra? That's a good question. So the answer is no, you don't have to pay extra. And yes, you do get updates completely free. So we're not expecting you to keep forking out more money. This is your solution. The serviced accommodation superclass, 797 plus VAT, that is it. You don't need to be spending out tons more. And obviously, if you're one of the first 5, you'll even get mentoring as well. Then somebody else has asked here, Ahmed, how quickly can I get an apartment up and running? That's a good question. Well, it's quite fun, really, because say you bought the course now, you started doing your area research, you found the area you want to do it in. That could be right next to you, or it could be, half an hour away. You book yourself some appointments with some estate agents. You could be acquiring an empty apartment, within a week, and then, getting it kitted out and everything within another week. And then you're up and running. So literally within a couple of weeks, you could have service department open and running. And also, if you're really an action taker, you can get it listed on booking.com, Airbnb, and be getting bookings immediately. Sally said, is it lifetime access to the training? Yes, it is, Sally. Absolutely. We don't rebill you every 12 months or anything like that. This is lifetime access to an updating course. Okay, so yep. Dave, thank you very much for your comment there. And yep, I've seen that, and I'll make a note of that for you, no problem. And thanks for your testimonial as well, Dave. Really appreciate it. Scrolling down then through the questions. Guys, have you got any more questions for me, just while I'm trying to read through these as quick as I can? Michael, great. We look forward to working with you very, very soon. Oh, yeah, if you're an interior designer, this is going to be great for you. We've answered Diane's question about business rates. So did everybody get something good out of this webinar tonight? Guys, did you enjoy it? Let me just stick on my camera a minute. I've got to show you I'm here. There we go. I am here. Yeah, so did everyone have a good time? Everyone enjoy it? Everyone learn something about serviced accommodation tonight? Solar, great question. Does the course talk about contractors? Yes, it does. So we talk about how to get contractor bookings. Yeah, so that's a great market for the week, particularly Monday to Thursday. So we do talk about that too. Our goal is to get your, basically to get your apartments full. Simple as that. Great, Diane. Glad you enjoyed it. Brilliant. So we've got quite a few. Well, it looks like there's been some people who have said that they've now joined. So welcome aboard, guys. You're probably one of the first 5. What I do find is some people just go ahead and buy it and then don't say anything. And then I don't know in the webinar. So anybody who has bought, I really want to say thank you. Thanks for putting your faith in us. We will work hard as you work. So you got questions, we'll get them answered, and we'll keep moving you along and helping you to get what you want, which ultimately is an income from serviced accommodation. Diane, no, the course doesn't cover how to set up your own management company. However, it will give you the skills to be able to do it. We don't specifically talk about that model, but with the course and the training, you're going to know how to manage one. So I suppose in a roundabout way, yeah, it does, but we just don't say it like that. Will mentioned about the 90-day rule in London. Yes, there is a 90-day rule in London. Airbnb restricts you from using them to book out your property for more than 90 days at a time, or 90 days in the year. However, booking.com does not restrict you. I can't tell you to go ahead and flout the rules, but I can tell you that 90% of people are. That's all I can tell you, maybe more than that. Now, if you go and set up an apartment in areas that don't like it in London, like Westminster and things like that, you could come unstuck. So I would be going online and seeing, what apartments are where and working out where is going to be best for you. Blessing, how you doing, Blessing? I hope you got my email today. What are the legalities with the first landlord agreeing to having their properties used as a serviced accommodation unit? Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to tell the landlord what I'm doing with this property, and then the landlord can deal with everything else. I'm not going to start asking them loads of questions about, oh, have you paid off your property? Is it unencumbered? Or have you got the right financial products? All this stuff. Nobody does that. All you do is tell them what you're doing. The rest is up to them. But we're always upfront about what we're doing. That's very important. Hi, Roz. A bit late. Yeah. Got stuck in traffic. Well, don't worry. I'm going to have a replay sent to you in the morning, Roz. So don't worry. You'll have all of this. We've covered a lot of good stuff tonight. We did a little trip around Rightmove, looking for properties, everything tonight. So thank you ever so much, guys. Thank you for coming on to the webinar. I'll leave the offer running for just a few more minutes. You can see it in the webinar software. Also, you can order by going to onlinepropertycourses.com/order SAS, all one word. You'll go for a secure checkout. You'll get an email immediately with your login details to the course. You're then able to go in online and start getting stuck in, and then join our Facebook group. Add me as a friend on Facebook as well. It makes it a lot easier for me to add you into the group. And then we're there to support you and we can get going. Let's get some apartments up and running, guys. So thank you very, very much, everybody, for staying with me. Thank you. Really enjoyed everything. I really enjoyed spending time with you and hanging out with entrepreneurs who want to get going and making some money. That's always the best people. So have a great evening, guys, and I will see you all very, very soon. For those of you, if any of you are running serviced accommodation units, tomorrow night I'm actually doing a presentation as well on marketing serviced accommodation units. If you've already got them, and maybe you didn't do the training with us, you just already got them. So we can help you learn how to fill them as well. So we'll be doing a webinar on that tomorrow night. But thank you very, very much, guys, and I will see you all very, very soon.